Oh man.
Hey, what's up?
Oh, what's up, bro?
Good, bro. And you?
Dude, good, bro. My like this is such a flop. I literally tried to um
Live stream.
like whatchamacall, like literally freaking set this up in a way that it wasn't gonna break and it like everything went wrong. But it's okay.
Well,
And so
let me
like no
help you,
one's
bro,
no one's
tech-wise.
pretty like no one's really gonna watch. Um but I'll probably just throw in I'll just throw up a story right now just in case. Actually, yeah, no, I mean, let's just see here. Hold up. Um, yeah, I'm gonna make the live public.
Why
Uh,
why don't you do Instagram Live instead of YouTube?
I mean, I could do live on Instagram. Here, I'll make this public right now on YouTube. Brother, what the heck is going on here? Public. Boom.
Mhm.
And I'm gonna go live on Instagram. Good idea. Just so that like people can join in. Good
Yes,
idea.
sir.
How do how does one do that on here? Hold on. Can I go? Oh, I can go live from my computer. Hold on.
Sick.
Hold on. 10K. Yeah, this is just like a beta test because I honestly fucked this up so bad. 10K sales call breakdown.
Oh, we're live.
Yeah.
Yes.
Do you guys see it on my Instagram?
No, I saw the YouTube. I
Yeah,
see
so you guys
Instagram.
are all live. So I know this wasn't supposed to happen, but like you guys weren't really like not all of you guys are supposed to be here, but you know what? We might as well just go with it. How do I okay, so how do I go live on Instagram here? Hold on, let me just see this. Okay, I'll just go live on my phone. Let's do that. Okay, I need my tripod. Hold on, I'll be right back. 1 second, bro.
Cool. So
Yeah,
Ozzy,
what's up?
how long, yeah,
What's up?
wait, your camera's off. I thought you were away.
Yeah, no, I'm here, I'm here. I'm just trying to set up my phone.
Okay, cool.
What were you saying?
I was gonna ask Ozzy something about his coaching. Um, I, I forgot what it was. Yeah, how long have you been doing it for actually before you stopped?
My coaching. So I left the company from the sales team in around July of 2025. And
Yeah.
then around a couple of weeks later, I started taking my coaching more seriously.
Yeah.
Let's see how many viewers I have
Daniel,
on
I have the exact same one, bro. Same tripod. Did you
yeah.
get from Amazon?
Uh
No.
I have no idea, bro, to be honest. Okay, hold on. I'm just trying to figure yeah, that was like so stressful earlier. But anyways, this is a test. Tomorrow I'm gonna start really taking the live seriously. It's just like right now it's just like we're doing whatever we can. Um okay, let's see here. Let me put my phone here. But yeah, Oziel, how's everything going, bro? Like how's it how you haven't done any sessions, have you? Or have you looked at anything yet?
That,
Have you opened anything yet?
yeah, I've looked at a couple of the calls. I forgot who posted that massive Google spreadsheet link with all the recordings. I started watching one of those, and then I also
Nice,
went through the Notion.
nice, dude. Yeah, no, honestly, keep that up, dude. Lean on Hamza as much as you can. Lean on the guys as much as you can because they're here for you, bro. So am I. Um, but yeah, I'm just about to go live on Instagram.
I'm gonna add more calls to the drive, by the way. So make sure you watch as much as you can from them. By the way, I'm also creating a Notion for everyone. Like I'm currently using it. I don't want to give it to anyone yet because I want to make sure that it kind of works and it's useful. It's basically just tracking, very, very simply tracking the learning progress, um, like jotting down or putting down all the lowest hanging fruits that you get from anyone in any session.
Yeah. Holy. Done. All right. All right. Boom.
Did you see the document I sent you, by the way? Did you get a
Uh,
chance to see it?
no, not yet.
Cool.
What? Like, I can open it now. give me a second. Hold on. Let me just go live on Instagram. Okay.
Let's check it out.
What the hell is this? All right, dope. Okay, we're live. All right. Sorry, yeah. So, what were you saying, Mohammed?
No, I wasn't saying anything. How are you, Daniel? You good?
Doing good, bro. I'm doing good. Hold on. Let me just send this in here. How do I pin my comment? Pin. Hold up. Oh my God, bro. All right. What's good, everybody? We're going live. If you're just joining this live on Instagram, if you want a better experience, I'm going to be doing it on my YouTube channel. So if you want to get like visual breakdowns, we're actually reviewing the sales call right now. If you're here, yeah, just join the live on YouTube. Yeah, so I just put that, like, look at the pinned comment. You can join there. Yeah, so let's do this. Hamza, how do you want to run the meeting today? Like, do you want me to do a call? So we can do a call review, right? Or we can do a lesson on the 10K call breakdown. So what do you want to do?
Let's do a color view.
Okay,
I'll actually let's ask
pull it up,
the
pull it
boys
up,
as well.
pull it up, pull it up.
Mhm.
Okay. All right. So yeah, so if you're in here, if you're on the Instagram live, just join the YouTube one because that's where we're doing everything right now. Let me pin this comment. There you go. All right. Dope. All right. Send the link, Hamza, for the call review. I can't hear you, dog. You're muted.
I thought you're gonna do one of your color reviews.
Yeah, which one do you want me to do?
Cool. Let me just go to your. I'll grab the link. One sec.
My God, bro. Okay. Yeah, let's do this. We're gonna be.
Let's do Sarah's actually.
Yeah,
Do you
yeah,
want to do
yeah.
that? Do you want to do that?
Sarah,
Yeah.
which one? Can you send that one?
Yeah, it's the one that started with mistrust from the beginning.
See, can you
I'll
can you
set.
send it to me?
Yeah, I'll share it now. Here you go. One sec.
All right, so we're gonna be reviewing this call. If you're on the live, just join YouTube because we're gonna be sharing screen and all that jazz.
It's in the chat. I think this is
All
a
right,
great
sick.
call.
All right, dope. All right. So, all right, we're gonna be reviewing this call. Here, let me get my whiteboard in here because I wanna make sure that you guys can. 'Cause I'm gonna do a visual explanation because a lot of the things that we do, like I've noticed that like, you know, I'm a visual learner. I have a little bit of like, a little bit of tism. Oh crap. Hold on. So, bruh. Okay, what is going on here? Yeah, I don't know. My like all the electronics in my life right now are deciding not to work. Like specifically on the day that I do the live, but it's okay. This is just a little beta run. Okay, so let me know if you guys can see my screen. We're gonna just dive right into this call.
Let's do it.
All right. So let's do it. I'm gonna call. I can't see you.
Okay, yeah, let's do that.
Yeah. Okay. Let me pause the recording.
The recording has stopped.
Oh, okay. Hold on. Actually, hold on. I can't do any calls that are like that have the face on it. Hold on. I'll pull up the one that has it's already edited. If we're live streaming it, then like I just want to be respectful of the lead's privacy
Fair.
here. Let's do go. Okay, no, that was just a sales call recording. Depends on how proactive we're being and how. Okay, so let's do hey guys. All right, we're gonna do rice. I don't think we've reviewed this call yet. I think I posted it on my YouTube videos, but I don't think we've actually like reviewed this because this is a call that, again, like not all of your calls are going to be one. Jesus, not all of your calls are going to be one call closes because you're gonna be a lot of the times you're going to be speaking with leads that are skeptical, right? Or they're not the warmest. But again, it's not an excuse to not do a one call close. I'm just saying like there's going to be cases where if you don't get like everything that you need on the call, there's no rush to close someone on the first call, right? Because if you're running late or if you're going over time, right? Like there's no need to rush for the first call, right? If you need, you can always do a second call to call close. So I'm going to share my screen right now. And yeah, let's do it. You guys can see the full screen, right?
Yeah, we can see it.
Yep.
Hey, can you hear me? Yes, I can. How are you, man? Looking good. And you, can you see me? Yeah, I can see. I can see. I was worried today. I was like, oh no, like he's not responding. No, yeah, just sleeping. My work schedule's kind of. They switched you to night shift like just like that? No, I alternate. So I do 2 weeks of night shift, have a week off, and then I do 2 weeks of day shift, and then a week off. Okay, just say it for no like I'm not intruding or anything. Like you're still good to talk. Okay, this is the second call. Hold on. Awesome, dude. So wait, are you guys still able to see?
Yeah,
It froze for me. I don't know if it
frozen,
froze
bro.
for someone else.
Yeah,
Yeah,
froze for
yeah.
me too.
You guys gotta let me know if it freezes. Hold on. I'm gonna grab the first call that I did with him because this is the second call that I had with him. So let me just pull up like the first one.
You can find the link in the chat for the first call.
Oh, actually, you know what? I'm pretty sure I already have this on YouTube. What am I doing?
Yeah, I just the link is in the chat. You can just find it there.
Like, holy cow. Part one. There you go. Finally. Jesus. Okay. Yeah, this call is gonna be super helpful because with this call, guys, again, this is going to be a very, very like you're gonna be dealing with a lot of these people. Which is why it's super important to like make sure that you're composed and you have like you're just following your process, right? So let me just how do I make it theater mode? There you go. Okay, let's go. Yes, I can, man. How are you? Guys can hear it?
Oh, good, good. And you?
Good. Can you guys hear it? Thumbs up. All right. See me?
Yeah, give me one second. All right, it's been a hectic day. Uh, 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 uh.
He didn't give me the full picture of he gave me a quick rundown. I didn't get the full picture, obviously. So on this call, really, it's just to kind of like break down kind of what you guys talked about. Get to know you a little bit more, uncover what you're trying to build, what's working right now, what's not working right now, and then if everything makes sense, if we're aligned, then hopefully we can get you started. Sound good?
Gotcha. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I guess like very first thing, right? Like when it comes down to getting help from Brennan,
Uh-huh.
you guys don't see me like switching tabs, right? Like you can see just the video.
Yeah.
Like you don't see me doing this.
Yep.
You don't see anything.
No,
No,
I see just the video.
I just see
Alright,
the
sick.
video on YouTube.
And if I switch tabs, let me know. I guess optimizing some of the things that you said you were missing. Like why is that so important now?
I guess it's always been important. But I it seems like so I just want my goal is to okay. I guess the main reason why it's important now, or why it's starting to get more important, is because I work a physical labor job, and it started to take a toll on my body because I'm getting older.
Gotcha. What do you do?
So I work in the oil field.
Okay, gotcha. Okay, so for a lead like this, right? One thing that you have to be mindful of, obviously you can't see like his body language, but he was very moving around, like looking around. Like obviously it got better over time, but initially like I didn't know it was because he had like a mental problem or like if he was like going through something because like he looked very distressed for some reason. Like, and I'm not saying this in a mean way, but like for example, like I thought that he was like on drugs or something because like the way that he was talking, like he was like clearing his throat every second, he was like sniffing and like looking around. It doesn't mean he's on drugs, right? He just could have like a tick or something like that. So it's important to be respectful. Yes, I do teach you guys to make sure that like if someone is looking around and like not like looking at you when you're talking, like it's very important that you know you call them out, right? Because you want to make sure that if someone's not looking at you and they're moving around as a leader, you want to make sure that you can bring them back down to earth, right? Hey man, like by the way, like can I just give like a quick observation? Yeah. So yeah, again, I don't want this to come across the wrong way. It's just genuinely because I care about you and I want to make sure that we have a productive conversation today. Are you like nervous to have this conversation? I sense that like you're not still. Like you're moving around. Right. And I say that like not and again, pause role play. I don't say that like I'm being rude, right? I'm just being honest and I'm smiling and I'm playing around. There's a time and place to be firm, but because the call just started, like I could do that. But like I didn't do it on this call, which is something you guys will probably notice. Like, oh, why didn't Daniel like stop him in his tracks? It was genuinely because like I wanted to be respectful. I didn't know if he had like an issue, right? And it kind of like toned down a little bit. So yeah, anyways, we'll just continue. And you'll get that a lot with like skeptical prospects. So oh, I'm muted.
It seems like so I just want my goal is to okay. I guess the main reason why it's important now, or why it's starting to get more important, is because I work a physical labor job, and it started to take a toll on my body because I'm getting older.
Gotcha. What do you do?
So
Oh, that's
I
sick.
work in the oil field.
Can you guys see me like over the video? All right, cool. Okay, gotcha. When you said physical labor, I thought oil field right away.
Yeah,
Are you like out, right? Like, are you at your job site or are you at home?
I'm at home right now.
Okay, gotcha. And what do you like? How does that work? Like, are you on shift and you have to travel out for a few months, or like, how does that work? So, whenever someone's like oil field or like single, like young, right? I always want to understand like their time, right? Because that could be something that I can probe into. Because at the end of the day, if someone's trying to like get better financially, or they're trying to lose weight, right? There's something in their current situation that's making them feel that way. So I could technically ask them straight up, like, hey man, so like what about your current situation right now is making you feel like you need to level up your finances? I could, or I could just be like, yeah, so what are you doing for work? Okay, oil field, gotcha. And I'm gonna probe a little bit more and like ask him like really how it's affecting him. But one thing just to give you guys some context, I was having a very hard time trying to understand like what we can actually help him. Not okay, sorry, I'm not gonna say I didn't know we were gonna help him with. I was having a very hard time in this call trying to get him to tell me that he needs help. Um, it's not like a typical discovery call where it's like you're able to do skilled questioning and like have the person kind of realize that they're not able to do it on their own just based off of like pure DIY questions. But for him, when I would ask him like, okay, so like what's stopping you from doing it on your own? And he's like, oh, I don't know. I don't know. Right. And I was like, dude, like, let's think about it. Right. So you're going to notice later in the discovery, like, I was trying to ask him, like, okay, so like the biggest problem that he was facing was that, he wants to replace his income and he thinks that he can do it with his job and with the one property of real estate that he has. But like, me knowing that like that's not going to happen, right? Unless he makes some major changes in his portfolio, he's under the impression that like if he just secures one deal a year and saves up enough money that he's going to retire by 65. Maybe not, right? Maybe not. And even then, it's like, why would it take someone 1 year to grab one property? So it's like we're kind of thinking of ways to like doubt. And in my head, I'm like, okay, this guy really needs like a rude awakening, but we're not going to do it in a mean way. Like we're not trying to bury him, right? So I'll just continue the call. I'll let the call kind of speak for itself. But the call is very slow, so it's like I'm just trying to give you guys context. That way, it doesn't take you as long to pick up what's happening because like legit like we were like minute 40 in and then like and then we were kind of connecting and then we were on the same page, but like literally it was just like this guy was here, he's being dry, he's kind of scared, right? You can just smell it on him, right? It's probably his first time getting on a sales call, or sorry, a coaching call. So again, you just have to read between the lines and just be very patient with these people. You can't rush, you have to do what's within their best interest, right? Sometimes as closers, we think what's within someone's best interest is to close them on one call or like get all the outcomes and then move on and just treat them as an NPC. But this is a real human being, right? Like this guy probably has some shit going on in his life and we don't know, right? The first thing that I said to you guys, by the way, like I think he's like either on drugs or he has a mental problem. Okay, great, but that doesn't determine the conversation, right? It doesn't determine the service or like the way that I'm going to approach helping him, right? So again, it's like we're always oblivious. We're never assuming, we're never categorizing, we're never putting someone in a bucket, right? A lot of people do that. So, yeah,
I go out of town for 2 weeks and I come home for a week.
gotcha. Cool, man. Um, Yeah, so I guess like that being said, with the finances and stuff like that, what about getting help from Brennan like specifically made you want to reach out? Like what are you doing right now that makes you feel like you might need more help?
I just want to optimize as best I can. I want to try to set myself up to where I'm able to get out of the oil field and not have to rely on finding another high income job to support myself.
Gotcha. I guess I'll start with the before I talk about the work and all that stuff, because that's also important, but with the optimization side of things. Um, what about your current process? Okay, one thing I just want to point out, right? It's just super important. Like I'm wearing sweatpants in this call. And the reason why I'm saying it is because it's very easy for closers, especially the ones that like work at home, which all of us do. It's very easy to just fall into that habit of like wearing only comfy clothing and not showing up. Like sometimes it's gonna get to a point where it's like, you're so busy, you're kind of like you're just being busy. You're just working hard, right? And the thing is like your hygiene and like your looks and like your perception will start going down. And that actually happened to me like 2 years ago. I got complacent and like I was closing a lot of deals. Then I was like, oh, you know what? Like I'm already at like 15K this month. Like I can just relax. I'm gonna show up to this call legit in my underwear, right? And just put a hoodie on. I'm not joking, right? But I make sure on every call that I look my best, I feel my best. I make sure that I've eaten before. I make sure that I've drinking enough water. If I need water, I will literally stop the call and get the water, right? Because again, you have to, just like how you guys were saying the other day, like why is Daniel able to lead people so well, or why am I able to do this and that? It's because I fill my own cup before I fill others, literally my own cup. The thing is, you need to make sure that you look the best. I just got a haircut that day, and sorry, I got a haircut the day before. I woke up and I could have easily just hopped on the call, but I made sure I showered. I made sure I got to the gym. So you need to make sure you look your part. I never show up on a call without a quarter zip, without a dress shirt, or without something a little bit, um, professional. So, but again, don't change who you are. Just you want to look your sharpest. That's all I'm saying. Or what do you? I guess what do you think? It's like selling. It's like selling weight loss to someone, and you're fat, right? Same thing. If you're selling financial services to someone, if you're selling how to make money, you got to look like money, right? You can't be wearing brands. You got to be wearing status, right? This could easily be a $10 shirt or a $150 shirt. Nobody will know. Why? Because it's a dress shirt, right? It's status. My haircut, I look clean. I look well taken care of, right? Skin, everything. Now again, let's get back to the sales call. But again, it's super important to know the way that you look is also very important. Okay. Right now, that's making you feel like it's not optimized or like fully at the potential it can be. So this is where I start asking doubt questions, because like I'm getting the feeling that like he doesn't even know why he's on this call. I'm getting that feeling. So I start throwing doubt questions early, right? Usually I wait until like I get the numbers out of the way, or usually I wait until like I understand the current situation. But because like the verbiage and the body language, right? I'm throwing doubt right away because yeah.
Well, I don't track everything, there's a lot of I don't have a spreadsheet or anything like that. I use Rocket Money just to keep track of what's coming in, going out, and like what categories it's in, things like that.
Mhm.
But but I would like to uh the most important thing. So I don't have any debt. I have extra income coming in every month. The most important thing is determining where to allocate that income.
Okay. I'm with you, man. With the income, like with the allocation, like right now you're using Rocket Money. Where is your money going right now? Like, did you get
Just
paid? Oh, it's just sitting in your account.
Same my checking right now.
You don't invest?
I do. No, not really. No.
Okay. Because I saw on your file, like it said, like retirement, and then that was basically it. And then you're considering buying a property?
Yeah. That's currently my current goal is to it's sitting in my checking because I'm saving up for down payment to in order to buy a rental property. But I still need to still need a little bit more.
Okay. The number of liquid cash is like sitting, is it below or over okay in your account right now?
In my checking?
Yeah, sorry, I'm just trying to record. I forgot this file wasn't recorded, so it's good now. Yeah, liquid money.
Yeah, it's like 20.25 right now.
Okay. You've been working in oil field for how long?
I leave and come back a lot. So I started the oil field 11 years ago, but I did it for 2 years. I left 3 years. I did it for a year. I left for 2.5 years. I did it for 3 years. I like to kind of try different things. I moved to Washington for a while, and yeah. So I haven't stayed in the oil field for forever. And I don't I don't feel stuck in it. But I
How do you mean you don't feel stuck in it? What do you mean?
So what I was saying earlier was I want to it's taking a toll on my body, and I want to make sure that
Can you tell how nervous he is? Right? Clearing his throat after every single thing, right? And I'm noticing that, right? And again, on most calls, I'll probably call it out. It's just like I genuinely did not know if it was like a mental health thing, right? So I just kept it there. On the second call, he showed up great. Like he was a completely different guy. Like I don't know what was wrong with his throat this day, but it was just out of hand, and it could just because stress, anxiety, stuff like that, stuff of that nature. So you just got to make sure that when you're on these calls, you're really reading between the lines. And the next question that I want to ask him is something that will make him feel safe and just, I'm bringing him back down to earth. I'm not mirroring his energy.
I'm in a situation where I don't have.
Not only that, but like obviously you don't want to mirror someone who's nervous because then they're going to be nervous. But the thing is, like, you need to make sure that you're showing up in your best light. And the reason why I say that is because, again, a huge, huge, huge thing that we talked about in our last meeting is that if you're not showing up for someone confident, or if you're saying something or you're speaking in a certain way and you're displaying a level of incompetence or fear, or like you're looking away, the person's going to give it right back. So it's very important to be rooted like a tree. Again, the trees don't change for anyone. Sure, sometimes you want to mirror the energy, right? Just like how there's aerodynamics when like a wind hits a tree, it's going to go around. But it's not like if a bear goes in front of the tree's just going to like run away, right? So you got to really make sure that you're rooted so that the person can be rooted.
Have to find another like high income job to support myself.
Right.
So but at the same time, I don't require.
Hamza, can you check on Instagram if like on the live if like the link that I put on the pinned comment is able to be clicked? Because I think I just put the link there and I don't think it's a clickable link, so I think I gotta figure that out.
Let me see.
I don't know. Or
Oh,
maybe
no.
I gotta, it doesn't work?
Nope. It's not
Okay,
clickable.
Okay, hold on. Okay.
That much income to live. My expenses are pretty low. So by that is what I mean when I say I don't feel stuck in it. Like I can do I can take a lower income job and still afford to live the same lifestyle. But
Yeah.
and so that's why I said that to explain why I don't stay in the oil field, why I leave and I come back and I leave.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm with you. I guess, how long has you been, like, I know you said you've been on and off. How long have you been working like this season for? Like, did you just start again, or how long have you been working?
I've been back for 3 years.
3 years. Okay.
Yeah.
And like you're making, how much are you making after taxes? I think it says here 168, but is that gross?
Yeah, it's gross.
How much are you taking every month?
Uh,
Like roughly?
every month?
Yeah.
Oh, like maybe like 9,500, something like
9,500 per month. You said your living expenses are pretty low right now? Like, what does that look like?
that.
Like roughly per month.
Give me 1 second. Probably 4,500 is what I usually spend on a monthly basis.
Gotcha. So that's like so essentially K per month, like every month set aside basically.
Not every month, but sometimes.
Okay.
Whenever I'm a little more frugal.
Okay. Yeah, because my next question was gonna be like where does that money go? Like the 5K?
Well, I just bought this house, and that was a pretty hefty expense. And so for the last few months, a lot of that money's been going toward um, setting this house up. Getting it fixed up the way I like it.
Gotcha. Okay. Where did you invest like this? So now what I'm doing right now, because I'm like, I know what I'm talking about when it comes to real estate. Like I'm trying to chunk down. So really trying to understand what he's doing wrong in his portfolio, which I already know, right? Usually someone who is trying to like, sorry, I'm just trying to pin this on my Instagram live. All right, cool. We're good. We're locked in. So Hamza, can you just check if the link in my bio on Instagram is able to be used for the YouTube stream?
Let me see. Yeah, I'll check.
But anyways, yeah. So the reason why I'm chunking down here is because I'm trying to find ways. So very similar to how I have you guys basically ask prospects like questions like, oh, it's like, what do you have in place for this? What do you have in place for this? I'm gonna do that right now. It's just I'm trying to get a base layer understanding of like where he's at, and then understand like, okay, well, like what about this is not what you want to do, right? There's a million ways to skin a cat, but you honestly need to figure out first before you actually start seeding doubt, right? I'm just going to like share my screen here on my whiteboard.
It works, by the way.
It works? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So by the way, if you're on this YouTube live, go on my bio. because I'm live streaming on YouTube and I'm writing stuff out so you can like see it visually. That way you're not just listening to me on Instagram. But okay, boys, so you can see my whiteboard.
Yeah.
Okay. So basically, right, the main thing, especially when you have a prospect, right, the biggest thing that you need to understand is that, again, like, they're there because they need help, right? No one willy-nilly is going to just book themselves in and not need help. But this guy was showing a lot of signs of like, oh, like, I don't know, like, oh, like, I'm just trying to see, like, oh, I just want to see like what I can do better. Like, oh yeah, I just want to like hear what you guys have, like it's giving very elusive vibe, right? Because again, all of these things, yeah, sure, they're different meanings. They're different words, but the main focus, like the main meaning here, is that they're just avoiding ownership. Does that make sense? Because if someone was like fully aware of their problem, you know, which sometimes they're not, but even if there's like a hint that something's wrong, someone's gonna raise their hand and be like, yeah, man, look, my leg has been hurting for this long. And I feel this way because like when I get up in the morning, right, my back starts hurting and then my leg starts limping. And then I go look in the mirror and it's purple, right? And then sometimes it like oozes pus, right? That's someone that we want, like that's the ideal prospect. But you're sometimes gonna have people that walk into the doctor's office and the doctor's gonna be like, why are you here? And they're gonna be like, oh, I don't know, I just want to see what you guys do. Does that make sense? Like, would you ever walk into a doctor's office and just like ask what a doctor does or like you see what they can do better, optimize their health? Like, do you know what I mean? Like, do you go to a doctor's office and say like, hey, like I want to optimize my health? No, like you go there because you have a problem, right? And if you're not open to that, again, it's not that it's not that they have to be, because not every prospect is going to think like us, right? We want the answers now. We want to be able to help people. We want to be able to like give the answer to everybody. Sorry, we want everybody to give the answer to us right now, right when, like right now. But you need to understand that people's brains are wired differently. And because most of the times, like this is legit, their first time ever raising their hand. That's a hand. Okay. I know. I know it's ugly. But okay, no, I'm not gonna do that. That looks wrong. Okay. But yeah, you know what I mean? Like it's the first time that someone has ever raised their hand. So who are we to judge someone if we don't even know who they are? That's why I was respectful to him in the beginning of the call. On most calls, I would have just called someone out for like moving their chair or like looking around. But I didn't know if it was the right sequence because I genuinely thought there was something wrong with him. Right? Like mentally. I just don't want to be disrespectful. But I'm still going to be a leader. And I'm still going to try to get him to do this. Because I haven't heard him own it. I just haven't. Right? So it's very, very important, especially as closers, especially as people that, are there to get help. It's imperative that you're patient. Because again, not everyone is the same. Okay. So let's go back into the call review and let's dive right back in. So let me just stop this screen share. There we are right now. I wish the people on YouTube could see what we're seeing right now because I'm like on the screen, but the people on YouTube can only see me in the corner, which kind of sucks. But it's okay.
I'm sorry.
Like, what's the state that you invested in? I didn't catch like what state you were in earlier.
Oh, I'm in Mansfield, Texas.
Okay, so that's like it's an apartment or a house, single family.
A house.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So how much you do? Like 400K, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
Purchase price.
Yeah, 400K was the purchase price.
FHA. You see how confident I am, right? Because I know my stuff, right? I used to sell for real estate offers. especially if you're selling on it, whatever offer you're selling on, guys, like, yes, sure, being a good closer is like understanding like, the actual, like offer and the offer stuff and like the pillars and how you help people and the objections, but it's also doing the homework outside of the offer. I did not need to know these things. I would think half of the people on my team don't even know the market cap or the average sale price value in Texas or Florida or Ohio or the prime rate. Like there are just things and terminologies you have to get familiar with because you want to be the expertise, right? If I wasn't showing or displaying my expertise, this guy would have steamrolled me, right? He would have been like, look, dude, I don't know why you're asking these questions. Like, can I just, like, what do you guys do? Right? But because he sees me as someone with the doctor's gown, with the syringe in my hand, with the whatever it's called, the stethoscope, he's not going to question my authority. Right. So when I start asking him questions about Texas, boom. It's like a humble flex, a humble brag. Like, hey man, I know more than you. But you're not actually saying that. Right. So if you're selling on a fitness offer, you better know every split. You better know like everything. Keto, you better know every diet. You got to know. You just have to know, or else you're not going to fully understand people. But that's what it takes to be an elite level closer. Because again, that's beyond training. That's just like self-development. Like I don't need to know the markets in Texas. I'm in Canada, but I do know because I'm gonna invest there one day. A loan, so that's like,
No, it's conventional.
oh, okay. So, oh, okay, okay. How much did you put down then?
45,000.
And then, okay, so we're still 350 still, like for the mortgage.
With everything, I'm closer to like 360, I think.
Okay, and is that 20 or 30 years?
30.
See how like I'm just very knowledgeable about this stuff. Right?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right. I mean, yeah, man. Like, usually, if someone does a 30-year mortgage, that means they're screwed. I guess on it, like paying off a mortgage for 30 years, that's like a prison sentence. Like you just locked yourself into a depreciate. I mean, obviously real estate appreciates, but 30 years, especially if it's your single home residence, like if that's your primary residence, like if you don't rent that out, you're gonna be trapped. Right. But again, that's just side note. That's in my brain, that's where it was going. So I was like, okay, how can I ask him questions like what do you have in place to like get deals and like so just watch. And like it's pretty much well, let me just see here because I know on your form, one thing I didn't see here is like debt. Like, do you have any other debt outside of your mortgage?
No, I mean, I've got 14,000, 13, 14,000.
Usually, like I teach you guys to make sure that you get the numbers out of the way, but I genuinely did not know anything about this guy. I think he's self-booked. So I had to go through the numbers myself, which sucks, but you got to do what you got to do. And for the ones that are watching, right? For the people that are not my clients, because right now there's like four of them in this room right now. If you want to frame the call properly, you usually say, okay, awesome. So here's what we're going to do in this call. Number one, we're just going to get through the numbers, right? Get the boring stuff out of the way. If there's anything you want to add, let me know. Once we get that out of the way, second thing is I want to get to know you more. I want to figure out like what you're trying to build. I want to figure out what's working right now, what's not working right now. And then if everything makes sense, then yeah, I'll show you how the process works. We can get you started. Sounds good? Sounds good. And then you go into the numbers, which is like, yeah, okay, so numbers, this, debt, this, fat, this. Okay, you're this fat, you have this much weight, whatever, or you're this much debt. Okay, got it. Anything else? No. And then you start going to identity. You start going to the actual sales call, and then you just ask the question, got it. So looking at the raw numbers, right? Just the ones that we have in front of us. Your age, where you're at in life, looking around you with these numbers. Jared, how does this make you feel? And you just sit. You just let the pain accrue. It's like putting on a dirty diaper on someone, right? Or filling someone's boat with pee. They have no choice but to like submerge or get in the piss boat and allow the boat to go down, and then the pee and the water start, filtering out, and then it's just water. Right? Because again, you want them to sit in the piss boat. Does that make sense? Do you guys have any questions so far before I move on? Oziel, Momo?
I'm good.
No, all good, bro. Just taking a lot of notes now. If I have a question, I will definitely raise my hand, yeah?
Cool.
On my card. That's it.
Out of what?
28.
28. Okay, available on credit. And that's just, is that like across all your cards or is that just one card?
Oh no, vehicle, car.
Oh, card. Gotcha. So okay, just basic card loan. But do you have any credit cards? Like any credit card debt?
Oh, I have tons of credit cards, but no debt. No.
Okay, gotcha, cool. What do you have like available, like across all your cards?
Oh, like limit wise?
Yeah.
Probably 110,000.
Nice. Okay. So all this is super helpful information. What I would say is like, how long have you kind of been, well, you bought the property like legit like this month, or like when did you buy that?
Bought it in August.
Okay, August. I'm trying to build my case, right? I'm about to go into identity here, but like I'm trying to build my case because I know I can hit this guy so hard in a good way, right? We're not trying to bury them, like I said. We're leaders here. We care about these people. But I'm trying to build my case, which means I'm trying to get data, I'm trying to get information that will like make my point even stronger because he's saying it with his own mouth. He believes it because he's saying it. Right? So I'm just building my case before I hit him with the what if it wasn't what you thought it was, or like whatever frame I want to use. And your monthly living expenses 4,500, and that includes the mortgage as well.
Expenses are a little.
Like get out of the oil fluke. That sounds like it's bad. So that being said, man, like with the goal of you being able to like get out of the oil fluke, that sounds like that's the main thing you're looking for. You making $9,500 a month. Essentially, we need 10K a month to be able to like step away from your job, essentially.
Mhm.
And how long have you been, I guess, like in this boat of like not being super organized and like feeling like you're not optimized with your finances?
To be honest, I don't really feel like I'm like. I feel like
He came onto the call saying that he wasn't organized. And the forum that he booked the call with on his own, he said, yeah, like I just want to get more organized. I want to get more optimized. But it's like with a prospect like this where they can't admit like what's actually going wrong, you have to be patient. You have to be patient, right? The average closer would take that answer and cut him off and be like, wait, so like, but I thought earlier you said you're not. You could, don't get me wrong, you can. It's just that intensity is a dial. It's not a doorknob, right? You're not going to just open the door, right? Because you're going to catch him with his pants down. You want to intensify the room. It's like turning the thermostat up and turning the thermostat down. You start cool as a cucumber. But I want to share something with you guys. Just a little psychological lesson for OZL and for Momo, because you guys don't know this yet. Which is why I think it's so important, Hamza, that we talk, you and I, to make sure that we get all these like psychological and leadership things written down, or like on a doc or something, or like just on a video. We got to do that. But okay. So question for, okay, so instead of okay, Momo, I'm gonna ask you a question. So let's just say you're God. Okay, let's just say you can control anything, right? And you want someone to take their jacket off. They're just walking in on the street, and you don't want them to wear that jacket anymore. You want them to take it off. What do you do?
Increase the temperature
There you go. How do you do that?
by intensifying the situation. The sun. Yeah.
Okay. So yes, you're right.
Please.
You're right, but I want to change where your heart is, right? Let's fix your heart posture. Okay. Yes, you are 100% right. The heat has to go up, but it's not by intensifying or making the things hotter or more uncomfortable. It's by shining the sun brighter, right? It's by being that beam. It's by, shining your light on someone will make them take off their jacket. Versus some people might say, oh yeah, if I was God, the way that I'll take off that person's jacket, I would like get a 50,000-mile-kilometer wind and like have them like rip the jacket off. Because if they keep it on, they're gonna like fly away like a parachute. Now the thing is, If you do that, they're probably going to hold on to it tighter. Right? So if
Yeah.
you are intense and if you blow the wind on someone, they're just going to hold on to their jacket. Jacket in this case is their demeanor, is their, you know, how they're showing up. But how we need to show up, we need to be as bright as the sun. People need to see our light, make them feel safe, right? But if we're cold to them, another thing as well, like outside of like the jacket, like the wind situation, if we're cold to them, if we're not human to them, if we're robotic to them, they're going to put on even more layers, right? If they feel like a number, if they don't feel like we actually care, that's cold. If we blow the wind on them, that's because we're being too intense. Sometimes you might need to blow the wind on someone. Sometimes you might have to light their house on fire to make them run out of the house. Or make them see and make them look up. Hey man, dude, your home is on fire. I don't believe you, Daniel. Dude, look up. Look around you. Everything is on fire. You're telling me that you're going to get off the call and stay in your home? Or do you want to take my hand and let me get you out of there? Right? It's all a mindset. And it's like demeanor, the way that we show up, the way that we lead people is so important, guys. Like I can't emphasize this enough. You don't have to be a phenomenal closer or even know all the word tracks or be like a wizard at sales to know that you just have to be a human being. Like legit. You know what I mean? Like you just have to be a human being. Because here's what happens, right? If you're a human being and you genuinely care about people, what's naturally going to happen? Curiosity, ambiguity, care, empathy, feeling. You might even shed a tear, right? One of the top closers in the offer that I'm closing on right now, he cries almost every call. And it's not because he's faking it, it's because he's like so like torn, he's so like heartbroken that like a single mom or like an amazing father of children is like going through such a shitty situation. And it's like, you know, he's just watching someone drown themselves. And he's just like, he genuinely feels for them. And he cries every single call, like little tear. And then the other person cries, and then boom, like you that connection is everything, right? You have to have that connection because if you don't, they're just gonna put more layers on. They're gonna put a hat on. They're gonna put gloves on, and then you know what? At that point, just like how you're building a frame on people, you also have to understand that people can build a frame on you, right? If you show up to an interview with a dirty shirt and wrinkled pants, and you're the interviewer, what are you gonna think of that person? This person's not organized or not ready. However, what if that person ends up being like the most phenomenal candidate and like and then they help us see through that dirtiness? I need you guys to understand that when you get on calls with people, people think that you're a dirty, selfish, dangerous human being. That is their natural reaction, guys. Natural. I'm not just saying that to like make the analogy hit. I'm actually being serious, right? Like people jump on coaching calls with us. And the very first thing that's in their mind is like, oh my God, they got to turn on my camera. Like, dude, they're gonna get my money, bro. Like, I'm gonna make sure that I do not make a decision today. And that's their frame. So you need to make them feel at home. Okay. Now, before I go into the next, I want to give you guys another psychological thing to think about because I think like, especially you, Momo, and OZL, like obviously you guys can watch my sales calls, you guys can look at my role plays, you guys can look at all the trainings, but I think the most impactful thing is I need to train you guys how to think, because the second that you guys know how to think, everything else becomes easy. Because once you start thinking the right way, you're gonna start coming up with reframes in your head. You're gonna start thinking of analogies. You're gonna start thinking of like, okay, like this person's saying something. I'm listening to them, and I know exactly what I'm gonna say next, but I'm gonna still listen to them because like I'm not the closer that like needs to be ready to say something. It's like I am such in a flow state where it's like I can actively listen to someone and I don't need to worry about that thing leaving my mind because like I'm already that guy. I'm already that person, right? So let me share my screen again. I'm gonna do a little whiteboard scenario here. Okay, as I'm pulling this up, do you guys have any questions? No? All right. So let's do it. So I'm gonna explain. By the way, if you're on YouTube, if you're on Instagram, please go on my bio because again, we're doing some illustrations, we're doing some drawings, right? These people are talking back to me, they're asking me questions. So if you want the full experience, go on YouTube. Okay, it's in the link in my bio. All right, so let's do this. Oh, shit. Okay, so let me give you guys an example. You guys again, just whoever wants to say this out loud. I want to hear from Momo and I want to hear from Oziel because like Hamza has already heard this already. Actually, maybe he has, but like I don't think he remembers. Okay. It's one of the very first things I've actually talked about. Like the very first session I had with like the very first coaching call I had with my clients, it was like a 3 hour call. I remember it to this day. It was like 4 a.m. for like Hamza and it was crazy. Okay, Momo or Oziel, whoever wants to go. Why do you think it's hard for closers to get conflict or confront? That's the better word. Why is it hard for closers to confront people?
I think it might be like a fear of losing the sale.
Okay, so like a little bit of attachment, you think?
Yeah.
Okay, so we
Mhm.
have attachment. I'm not sure if that's how you spell it, but okay. Momo?
But the question is, why do closers get conflict from the prospect?
No, why is it hard for the average closer to confront prospects?
Courage. No courage came to my mind.
Why do you say courage? Okay, it's okay. So none of these are right. Actually, OZL, you're sort of right. You're sort of right, but it's like not in the way where it's like that's the reason, right? That's like a symptom. Like attachment from the sale ends up having people like not, you know, confronting prospects because they don't want to lose a sale. But if we really go back in time, like let's go like Ice Age moment, or like when dinosaurs were around, or like when we were throwing sticks and rocks at each other. Okay. Back in that era, especially like when, you might had like, a spear, right? Or like a bow and arrow, right? You get the point, right? The point that I'm trying to make here is that back in the old times, right? Especially around the time when we were like literally surviving, like mammoths, dinosaurs, saber-tooths, like thylacoleos, like when we were like cavemen, right? Um, the biggest thing that we had was survival, right? And obviously, survival is a lot harder by yourself. Would you guys agree? Right? You guys would agree?
Yeah.
Yes.
That's why it's super important, especially like in those times, to partner up with people. Because if you did that, then that means more resources. That means, someone can stoke the fire, someone can get the food, someone can, take care of the kids, someone can, there's a lot of incentive for someone to basically like be a part of a group, because without the group, you know, it's harder to survive, right? Just like how even like in a modern society, like getting married and having partners and having kids is better, because you're surviving as a team, right? Now, what if I told you that if one of these people, right, like if we're in a tribe, and the second that one of these guys decide to start talking bad about someone, or they decide to start speaking their mind, or maybe, they have ideas of like how to run the tribe better, and they're like, you know what, like I don't agree. Okay, I don't agree with this guy. Like I don't like him. In those times, guys, if that happened, you're either gonna die, because like they're not gonna put up with someone if the whole goal is survival. Like they don't want to waste resources, so they'll just kill you, or they'll banish you, right? They'll tell you to go away. So that meant for this guy here, the lonely guy, they got banished. That means no food, that means no shelter, that means legit like nothing. Like that means death, right? You can't survive without, if you're by yourself and you're starting from zero, like to get these things in the same day, if you've ever like done these things, it's pretty hard, right? So psychologically, our brains are wired. Like our brains are literally, like if you look at the brains of anyone, we are wired to avoid conflict, because of the potential ramifications, or because of the potential opinions of, other people. And that's why, right, like whenever we have like things going on in our life, especially if someone's fat, or if we're in debt, or if our marriage is unhealthy, or anything, people avoid conflict. They don't like speaking the truth, right? They want to make sure that everyone's happy, but it's because it's how we're wired. It's not our fault, right? That's just how we are psychologically. So you guys need to understand that like it's okay to like be scared to confront, because it's not our innate drive to do that, right? Because we're afraid of this thing, even if the person is like a million miles away and they're on Zoom. So to do a little reframe here, guys, it's okay to hurt someone's feelings if you care, and if it's what's genuinely best for someone. And the reason why I say that is because, again, if we don't do that and we're avoiding conflict, then we're going to get objections. We're not going to be a leader, right? If we don't get rid of that psychological bound or tie to like how we are just designed as humans, then we're always going to be stuck in this like thing. So understand that, yes, okay, the person's like across the world. Don't treat them like an NFT, right? And like care about them, right? They're humans, right? At the end of the day. However, there is legit no problem if you hold someone accountable, even if you look stupid, even if you feel like you're looking dumb, even if you feel like you're hurting their feelings, because there's someone else in 1 hour you're going to speak to. And if you don't close them, or if you hurt their feelings, or if they hang up on you, so what? There's like, there's a bigger chance of you dying than seeing this person in your life. You're never going to see them in your life. So again, it's like release that attachment, right? Again, yeah, detach yourself from the sale. That's one thing. But it's because we don't want to feel like we want to lose someone, or we don't want to like hurt their feelings because of lose the sale, because of resources. Just like how the cavemen wouldn't confront each other because they don't want to lose. They're attached to survival, just how we are. That's our innate drive. Like sometimes you're in a bad spot and you need to make a sale because you're short on rent, or you have to make something happen. But if you really just detach yourself from the sale and you realize that, you know what, it's okay to confront this person, and if I lose this sale, so what? Because guess what? The closers that close the least, you might think that people that close more are the guys that like offer payment plans, or the guys that like make it easy for the prospect to come in, or like, make it like finance every single prospect because it's a lot of money. But what if I told you every single call that I have, I always pitch the highest, and I do not make a payment plan visible to them. Unless it's absolutely needed, like if they're genuinely in a bad spot, then I will do it. But the reason why I do that is because, again, if they don't buy, that's fine. But I'm going to do what I got to do because I know that if I close someone at 10 grand, that's $1,000 in my pocket versus me just collecting 250. And even if I close 4 people at 250, that took me 4 hours versus 1. Now, on top of that as well, you might think that it's easier to close someone on a payment plan, but trust me, it's not. It's actually harder because people that don't have money, people that need to break things up, you're just adding more mental resistance to them. You're making the elasticity of their brain move way too much, and you're giving them too many options. It's like, oh, like how am I gonna pay the next payment? Oh my gosh, like how am I gonna do this? How am I gonna do that? But again, if you just make the sales call linear and you're just handling their fear and not money and not bank account and not every 30 day we're gonna do an automatic withdrawal. And like if you don't like, you just want to make it simple. Okay. So again, confrontation, but especially with a prospect like this, like I know we were gonna review a sales call, but it's like I just think understanding the fundamentals of like what I'm saying will give you such a better perspective as to what I'm looking for in a sales call. Because whenever I'm reviewing a call on you guys, like whenever you guys do a role play or whenever you submit a call to me, I don't care if you said the word tracks wrong, or if you framed in like a different way, or if like you said it like, no, I care about your intention and where your heart posture is and where your brain is going. Because that will determine the sale, not you framing perfectly. In fact, my frames always sound different, but like the intention and the heart posture is always the same. I might ask someone their goal in 40 million different ways because again, we're human. If you needed to study word tracks and say them every single time to have a calculated statistical highest proving chance of getting the person to tell you what you want to hear, then we might as well just be AI. We might as well just not take the calls and just let the chatbot do it for us. But because we're human, we get the privilege to freestyle. We get the privilege to say what we want. We get the privilege to have freedom of speech and just honestly have free will. So if you remove the tendency of like, oh man, like I gotta like sound perfect on my calls, you don't. Or oh man, like I gotta not touch my face or like not say you don't have to. I train you guys not to do that because if you do that as a habit, sure, you're gonna look like someone who's not confident or not comfortable. How many times have I touched my face on this entire life? Maybe like 5 times. But that's because like I have like a booger in my nose or something that's like uncomfortable, right? But it's not like I'm like touching my face because it's out of nervousness, right? So again, I know I'm touching a lot of topics here, but again, the main actually before I say the main takeaway, I want to hear the main takeaway from each of you guys. Because again, we need to do that on every single call just so that I know what the words that are coming out of your mouth are usually what you think of and usually what you believe. So if you don't say the outcome, then that means we have to reinforce it. And that's also what we do on sales calls. So before I ask you guys what the main outcome was, I want you guys to like first questions, right? And I also want to hear questions from you, OZL, because like you're new here, so you should have a million questions.
Yeah, I actually do have a question. So I totally get that, everything you said about confrontation and everything, that makes sense. But when it comes to actually like implementing that in a sales call, how would you go about it? Would you say like, hey, John, could I offer my perspective on X? Or is there a better way for that? Or how does that work?
So confrontation can mean a lot of things, right? Like what was the very first thing that I said on this call about this guy? What was the very first thing that I noticed about him? Like how is he acting? Off, right?
Okay,
And usually when
understood.
someone is like acting off, one of the very first things that I want to do is like call them out and be like, hey man, like, are you good? Or like if someone's moving their chair around, like not looking at me or like avoiding the answers, I'm gonna be like, hey dude, like, can I just give you an observation? Are you nervous right now? Like, why are you not looking at me when I ask you questions? That's confrontation. Another form of confrontation is pre-handling objections. Hey, so like, look, I mean, as you said, you feel like you need some accountability from this to get these systems set up, and that way you have someone to guide you and push. That's why you're here. Here's the thing, though. One thing I don't understand, John, is like, why haven't we found this accountability in the last like 2 years if we've known we needed it? Like, what's really held you back from like legit just going to see the doctor? Let the doctor do their work. And you sit and you let them sit in the piss boat. Again, it's very easy to like, I know exactly where their brain is going. I know exactly what like the outcome is going to be, but I'm going to be patient, right? Because I could easily be like, hey, yeah, so like what's stopping you from getting the accountability? Because usually what people don't do is when they are scared of doctors, they don't get into an appointment. So it doesn't mean that you also don't trust coaches and you also are scared of them and scamming. That's like, I know that's gonna I know that's probably what's gonna happen, but I'm gonna wait for them to sink the piss boat, right? It's like I need them to sit in the piss boat versus me just filling the boat up with piss and then like them just watching it from the shore. Like I actively need them to step off the dock and go in the piss boat. 'Cause that's the only way they're gonna want to get out of it if they're only in it. But if they're not even in it, then how are they gonna do it? Right? It's like you put a dirty diaper on someone, the instant reaction is they want to take it off. Or if you put a tarantula on someone, they're gonna freaking swing that thing to Jupiter, right? So you have to like do the same thing when you're asking questions because again, it's confrontation, and you just sit there and you're patient and you don't like expect a response, or you don't like you're not asking a question because you want an answer. You're just genuinely curious because everyone is different, and you let them sit in the dirty diaper and then they tell you what's wrong, and that's very uncomfortable to do. So confrontation is always important. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that cleared it up. I get it.
What other questions do you have, bro? I want this session to be about you.
Honestly, that's all that came to my mind so far.
Okay. Is there, before I ask about the main takeaways, guys, OZL, is there anything that you've looked at so far in the trainings or in the call reviews or in anything so far that is confusing, or you think, or you wish you had more clarity on, or like you need me to explain it to you right now?
Not yet, I would say. I don't think I've gone too far into that to be able to get like a conclusion for that.
Cool. No
But
worries.
when it comes up, I'll ask.
Sure. So what we'll do, guys, because what I want to do is I want to do main takeaways, and then if you guys want to chill and hang out, we can. I'll probably just let the live go and I'll let the YouTube just play until I get off tonight. But main takeaways, right? So OZL and Momo, I always do this exercise at the end of every single training call. I always ask, what's the main takeaway? And we do it until someone gets it right, and usually no one gets it right ever. So I tell them what happened, right? Only, yeah, I would say like Hamza almost got one the other night, but his brain went lizard mode, right? And then he just went to like caveman thinking, right? Which I mean, sorry. His brain didn't go caveman thinking because again, you have to understand, guys, that like these things and these concepts, they're not like a doctor's not going to explain the chemical or the process of how they're going to like do surgery on you. Why would they? Because they know that you're someone who's not a doctor, so they need to explain things in a way that's super simple, right? You might have like stage 1, stage 2, stage 3, stage 4 cancer, and like each cancer has different names. It's like hieroglyphics, right? But they don't lead with that because the common population only knows stages, right? So when you're on your sales calls, you guys really just have to make it like you have to like basically like understand these are people that like eat crayons, right? It's like you have to be talking to like a 6-year-old, right? Because how are you going to expect someone who's never ran a marathon before to understand how to run a marathon? You need to talk their language, right? So when you're thinking of outcomes and you're thinking of main takeaways, really make it simple. Okay. So I want to hear from OZL first in this whole entire conversation, more specific to like, what we've talked about, because the main thing was like, I'll just talk about like the summary of today's lesson and you guys say the main takeaway. It was just like we were reviewing a call for a skeptical prospect. We felt like, we saw that he wasn't really um owning or like putting his hand up and be like, yeah, like this is exactly why my leg is purple. He was showing up to the doctor's office and saying, I don't know why I'm here. Or just like, I just want to see how you guys tell people. All right. So like that's where this whole entire session went. And then I taught you guys how to think in those scenarios. So like confrontation, going back to like the olden days. I taught you guys about, the psychology around like body language and mirroring and making sure like how to ground these people that are super, super scared. Right. So what are the main takeaways? I want to hear from OZL first, Momo, and then Hamza. Sorry, and by the way, Hamza, for you and also for Momo, because you guys are more senior in here, whenever we do group coaching calls, right, whenever we do a team meeting, it's always important that the most junior person speaks first, and then the most you know what I mean, person speaks last, right? That way it gives the newer people like ability to share. So OZL, you go first.
Yeah, so I think the takeaway of this call was like you have to let the prospects realize their own pain. Like you can't just, like you can't tell an alcoholic that he's an alcoholic because he's going to deny it. He's going to give you all the reasons that, he doesn't. So it's just really letting them, like the problem hit them like a rock, but the only way to do that is to have them realize it by themselves. And ways that you can do that is like we talked about confronting them, or making them sit in the piss diaper. So yeah, I think that's what the takeaway was.
Okay. Momo.
Yeah. The main uh the main thing for me was understanding that person on the call is there because they need help, whether they know it or not subconsciously, and also that we are wired to conflict psychologically. So you need to kind of like detach yourself from the sale and yeah, like make sure like before you even hop on the call that your intention is right. Like you said, like your heart posture needs to in line, and also like it's not a big deal if you messed up on the call because it's just a sales call. It's not the end of the world, and you will learn from it obviously. And what else? Yeah, that's it. A lot more, but I don't want to take too much
That's
of your
good. It's
time.
good. Good job. All right, Hamza. Yeah, main takeaway is one.
Okay, main takeaway one.
For sure.
Yeah.
It's becoming kind of clear, like with these calls, what the main takeaways are revolving around. But for this one specifically, I'm going to say it's becoming the type of leader that, with their presence, they make people around them feel better. And by that, I mean, like, you're not pressuring anybody, you're not controlling anyone, you're not trying to box anyone and try to whatever. Like, you are genuinely just being yourself. You're being a leader. And again, as you said earlier, like genuinely a human. I think that is the takeaway of this one.
Okay. So what I'll say, I'll just do a little recap, right? That way we know what the real answer was. So takeaway, OZL said that, there was like fist vote, right? You know, they have to kind of own where they're at and not hide it. Okay, that's good. It's a good observation, but it wouldn't be like my main takeaway. But again, it's good that you're learning these things. Again, it's like there's so many things that you can take away from just oh my God. There's so many things that you can take away from just learning how to think. But you have to kind of have a moral code, and the moral code comes from usually like your faith and like also like what you actually believe in. And then what you believe in ends up like helping you make decisions or helps you again think about takeaways and think about how to approach different situations. Right? Because different religions, different faiths, different frameworks, different moral codes have different ways of thinking, which is why there's wars, which is why there's conflict, which is why there's, fat people, skinny people, because it's all about what you actually are rooted in, who you are like to the fiber of your core, of your being, right? So good takeaway, but not what I was looking for. But again, it's still good, right? It's just not what I was looking for. Momo said detachment, which is very, it's good. They need help, which is again symptomatic to what the real main takeaway, which was heart posture, right? So you actually got it right, Momo. Right? That's actually really good because you need to know where you're at before you can help. Dude, I can't draw a freaking heart. It's like a butt. Like, how do you draw a heart? There you go. Okay. Um, yeah, you have to know where you're at. Spiritually, you have to, not spiritually, you have to know where you're at, where your heart is. Because a lot of the times, guys, we actually have something that's called an 18-inch problem. Now, no, it's not like Jamal, right? No, that's not what I'm saying. 18-inch problem. I'm saying 18-inch problem is like your brain to your heart. Oh my, bro, I can't draw hearts. Okay, there you go. Right? 18 inches. A lot of people use their brain, but they don't use their heart. Now, again, when I say that, I don't mean like be emotional and don't be logical, but use your heart to identify where someone's at. Because if we only use our brain, we're going to come off very like transactional, right? Because then and then the person is just going to put more layers on. Okay. So heart posture is super important, guys, because again, you need to know exactly where you're at, or else you're not going to know where someone else is at. And you have to be the type of person that genuinely cares and is willing to go above and beyond, even when there's nothing in return, which again has a lot to do with like helping people see where they're at and like helping people like get in the PISPO, which has everything to do with detaching yourself from the sale, which has everything to do with, understand they actually need help, which also has everything to do with not burying them and being a human. Like it's all right. But again, I always say this in all my sessions, guys. Whenever you have an answer, you need to make sure that it's actually the problem or like the core. Okay. But the core and the problem is not the symptom or a consequence of that. Like a consequence of having a good heart posture is detachment, is all of these different things, but it's not actually like the actual problem. You guys have to get good at identifying, whoa, what happened? Okay. You have to get very good at identifying these things. Because if you don't, it's going to be very hard for you to identify people. again, imagine a doctor, again, like tell me if this makes sense. Imagine a doctor only prescribes medicine or only helps people based off of these. Oh, your leg is purple. Okay, let me give you some ointment. But their leg is like freaking sideways, right? Or someone's vision is blurry, or they're losing motor function. Yeah, we can give them a treadmill, we can give them, a heart monitor, but they might be having a stroke. So again, we have to understand these things and get through these things, just like objections, right? If someone says and you think about it, if someone says like spouse, if someone says like money, if someone says time, these are all the same. But the problem in core, do you guys want to know what it is? One of you guys should know this.
Trust, fear, pride.
No.
Hmm.
It's just fear. Oh God.
Cool.
Like I said, all objections are the same. All pre-handlings are the same because it's just this thing. Why would someone not do something? Because of fear. Why does someone do something?
Would you say
Why?
Sorry, that
Why?
was my
Why
dog.
does? Why? Hold on. Hold on. What was that? Is that a fucking wolf?
It's a husky, yeah.
Oh my God.
Cool.
Yeah. So like, but before you ask your question though, the reason why people don't do things is because of fear. But the reason why someone does something, it's not because they don't have fear. It's that they have courage. Right? But again, the reason why someone's fat, the reason why someone's broke, the reason why someone's unhappy is because they let life happen to them and they succumb to their fears, as opposed to viewing it as I'm in control of my own life. I don't care if I'm fat. I don't care if I'm scared. I'm going to gain the courage and do it anyways because that's what my family deserves. And that's why they're on the call because they don't feel like the life that they're living right now is the life that their family deserves, which is why they want help. But again, the person that walks into the doctor's office who has blurry vision doesn't know if they have brain cancer, doesn't know if they have a stroke, doesn't know if they had a heart attack, or doesn't know if they're just stressed. So we have to identify the core, which is why when I look at someone, the very first thing I do on my sales calls, guys, is I identify, like I can read someone the second they get on a call by the way that they look, by the way that they communicate, by the way that they touch their face, by the way that they answer questions, by the way that they talk to me. I can tell exactly where they are, but I don't want to assume because we can't do that. It's a dangerous game to play, but I'm just very good at reading people, which is why it makes my discovery so much easier. Okay. So is that helpful, guys?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. Um,
So
100%.
just to touch on what you were saying about people reacting, yeah. So is it like people are just used to and just habit wise just react to everything instead of responding to life situations?
well, no, reacting is reacting. Reacting is fine because you always need to react. You don't know when you're gonna die. You don't know if you're gonna get hit by a bus. You don't know if you need to pay off a credit card. You're always reacting. Sure, there's a level of proactivity and reflection that has to happen, but it's like, yeah, sure. Reactivity can be bad because, again, if someone's just reactive with their finances, and that means they're not being proactive, that means they're not thinking of the future. But the real issue is that they're not reacting. They're not reflecting. Or they're not reacting enough, or reacting in the way that they have to, or being proactive.
Yeah.
Right? The drug addict that hits the meth pipe, they're reacting to their pain. They're reacting to their trauma. They're reacting to who they are. But they're not reflecting enough and being like, hey, you know what? Like, is this proactive? Am I actually going to solve the core? What's the core? The core is that they didn't reflect enough because there was a level of fear or a level of something that got in their way when they realized they had back pain, or when they realized that they had trauma, or they had PTSD, and they just, didn't reflect hard enough. They weren't proactive enough, which is why they didn't go to the rehab facility, which is why they didn't get help, which is why they didn't get on the operating table to get their back surgery. But instead, they just reacted based off of, over-the-counter solutions like taking pills, smoking weed, and then it just becomes a cycle, right? Just like how the fat person eats food once and then can't stop eating because they're coping with something. What is that? The reason why a fat person is on a call, the core isn't because they're fat. It's because they're not the type of people to take control of their life. They're letting things fall apart. Why though? That's the consequence. Why is that happening? What's behind that? Is it fear of failure? Is it fear of looking down at people? Is it fear of trying? What does fear look like? What does that mean? I mean, on our last session, Oziel, you weren't there. I recommend you watch that call because we defined what fear, I basically introduced a new way of getting people to open up. Because again, we can always address the symptoms. We can always do the doctor analogy and paint the picture of yeah, what happens if you leave this open wound open? But fear, yeah, I get that. But what happens if you don't overcome that? Great, sure. There's still a piss boat there. There's still a level of action they have to take. But are we actually probing into who they are as a person? Why are you scared? What does fear look like? What's the consequence of fear? Are you scared of failing? What does failure look like? What does, why? And then you can draw analogies. And again, I'm not going to go into that whole entire segment because I went into it very deep on the last call that we did. Because if you understand who someone is, if you understand who someone is, and why they're fearful, and instead of just saying you have to get over that fear or accepting their fear, if you go a level deeper and basically make them understand that the decisions that they make because of their fear and the way that they are is because they're here, is the reason why they're there, is because of who they are. So instead of challenging their fear, it's actually challenging their person and their heart. Because if they want to change, yes, they can gain the courage, but are they just adding an additional trait, or they're just putting armor on to go through the fire? Or are they actually fundamentally changing their fiber of their being? And then you can accept on that, right? But it just takes a lot of balls and a lot of confrontation and a lot of leadership to know how to do that, right? So heart posture, guys, super, super important. Again, we're all human
Is
beings.
that call is the call that I'm sorry, I said is the call that you said to watch the one from January 22?
I
don't know if you know the date.
don't know I don't know when we did that. I think it was last night. Hamza, do you know? Whatever. We'll figure it out after. Moving forward, it's not going to be like this. Not saying that it's unorganized, but every single session that we do, I'm gonna have someone edit it and post it literally within a day because I just hired an executive assistant, so they're gonna basically take all my live streams and all my meetings and make sure nothing gets lost and just post everything. And then we're gonna condense that into a course and then make it more impactful. Because the reason why I'm doing these things live is because look, guys, I have over 30,000 followers. If you look at the amount of people in my live, at one point there was like 15 people in here listening, but they all dropped out. At one point there was 10 people on my YouTube live. Right now, there's like 0. So it doesn't matter, like, if you give the world to someone, it doesn't matter if you hold someone's hand out or show them the way or the solution, because they know the solution. They know it's there, right? They know it's there. Like the homeless person knows that there are shelters. Sorry, the drug addict knows that there's rehabilitation centers. They know it. They get advertised to it. They know this, but they choose to be committed to themselves. Because there's always two choices someone can make in life. They can commit to change and get uncomfortable, or they can commit to not changing. Because you can be a very disciplined and very committed person, but it can also be for the wrong reasons. You can be extremely disciplined at eating potato chips every night. Or you can be extremely disciplined to work out. You can be extremely committed to thinking a certain way and letting those limiting beliefs get in your own way. Or you can be committed to challenging those beliefs, right? Which is why every single time someone joins the live, I don't care if they see the world. I'll give them my entire program for free, but it's not like they're going to do anything about it, right? So you guys are here because you obviously put change. It was very uncomfortable for all of you guys to be here. But like, when was the last time that you opened something that was free? Like, not, you know what I mean? Like the guide to losing weight. Guys, why are so many people fat if we have ChatGPT, YouTube, Ozempic? Why are people still fat? Because despite there being all the information in the world, it takes a very special character to do something about it. Does that make sense? Because again, it's like the lifeboat scenario where someone's drowning, their hands are up, and they're like, oh my gosh, I'm drowning. I can't swim. I can't swim. And you're literally extending your arm. And they're choosing to drown. Why? Maybe because it's more comfortable to do that. Maybe because they don't want to grab our arm and experience what it's like to be cold once they're out of the water. Or maybe they think that when we pull them up on the boat, that we're going to shoot them in the head and they're going to fall back into the water. That's the only reason why someone wouldn't grab your hand. Which is why you have to make your hand super bright. That's why you have to be a light in someone's life. That's why you have to be a leader. Because the serial killer that's reaching on the side of the boat that's saying, grab my hand, I'm not grabbing that hand. I'd rather drown. But if we're like helping them and we're their leader, if they choose to not grab our hand, it's not our fault. God's not going to look at us and be like, why didn't you help this person? We did. We tried. We did everything in our power because we're not letting them go. It's almost like in the objections after you pitch. Sometimes I literally tell people, like, I have a call that's over 1 hour long of objections. If you watch that front to back, you can tell the care that I have for that person. It's like, I did not want to let her go. Like, I was grabbing onto her hand tighter and she was letting go. It's almost like that picture of like God and Adam, where like his finger is like this and God's like fully extended, because man will always be lazy. Like Adam can do this and touch, but like his finger's like this. Why? Because he doesn't want to fully extend, because it's uncomfortable, because there's responsibility, there's weight, right? So whenever you're like, whenever someone's drowning themselves and their mind is doing this in the objections, your job is to not let them go and to lead them and empower them to get over themselves. You're not making them feel bad for being in the water because you don't know them. If you lived the same life that they did, you would be the exact same person. Like if you had the same beliefs, the same religion, the same upbringing, the same parents, the same school, the same friends. Like if you thought the same as Hitler when he was younger, you would probably do the same thing that he's done because you're living someone's life and you don't know these people, right? So again, it's about being graceful and empathetic and caring. That's where it starts. But again, a lot of the calls, you're literally doing this. You're literally grabbing them. Like you're making like you're just we're going. Like there have been calls where I'm like, listen, go grab your card. We're doing this right now. You're either in or you're out. But again, intensity is a dial, right? It takes time to get there. So does that make sense, guys? A lot of things, which is why I thanks, bro. Which is why I think like for you guys, it's very important on your off time or when you're working out or like when you're in the like when you're not doing anything, instead of watching reels or instead of doing whatever, you should be listening to these calls because it's literally like a podcast. And if you listen to a podcast enough times, you'll start behaving the way that I am because like you're just what you listen to is what you think, and what you think is what you say, and what you say is what you do. And it's going to take a lot longer than a 1 hour session on a Sunday night. You need to do this repetition. Does that make sense? That's why I think it's helpful even to like not only, yeah, sure, like study the word tracks and like, know what to say and like, maybe write them out on a piece of paper and do it until you memorize the whole thing. But what's more important as well is like if you can just get a blank sheet of paper or a tablet and just draw stuff. Like I can't remember where I did this. I think it was on another account that I did this on. But like I was literally bored one day and I was like I basically like wrote down someone's objection. Yo, can you like go away here? I promise this is the last thing. I don't want to keep you guys because I know it's late for you guys. But yo, hello. Okay, I guess I just gotta zoom in. Okay, so like legit guys, sometimes you just like need to give your brain time to process things because just like how I asked you guys, like, what's the main takeaway? And like none of you guys like gave me a clear answer. Like Momo, you did, but like you gave me like three in one, right? You can literally just go like on your paper and be like, okay, so like at this time, like I want to, first I just want to do like, okay, so like, you know, I hear you, so like acknowledge, right? And then I just want to be like, gotcha. So like tie downs, like aside from me to think about it, how do you feel? Like in terms of process, like what stood out to you, right? Is there any reason why it wouldn't work? Right? Okay, got it. Now it's all right. Like, do you have any questions aside from the investment? Like, talk next steps. Got it. Okay, cool. So in terms of the next steps, is this and this? Da, 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 da. Sound good? Great. So let's rock and roll. No? What's behind that? Is it just a big decision? Oh, you just need to think about it. Okay, so when you say you need to think about it, like when you say think, like what do you need to think about? Like, is it just like you want to think about like the process? Do you want to think about like, whether or not you think this will work? Or is it just a big decision? Big D. Oh, it's a big decision. Got it. It's just fear. Like you always make decisions that way? Oh, you do? Always? Okay. Like, can I give you perspective? Right? There's so many ways to play with it, right? And I can literally like fill this entire thing with like points and go until like midnight because like calls can go anywhere. and you just have to let your brain kind of like it's like artistry. It's like you have to like doodle or brainstorm before you draw the actual painting. Right? And then another thing that I don't think did Daniel tell you guys the exercise that I told you guys to do, or did he not? What was it? So because OZL
Yeah.
was this oh
It
wait,
was
hold on. Actually, OZL, do you know the exercise? Why
I
doesn't
don't know.
why doesn't he know?
because it was only me, Daniel, and Hamza on the Zoom call.
Okay. But he's a team member, right?
Right. So we should have let them know. It's our fault.
There you go. Right, heart posture. Thank you. But anyways, so yeah. But again, if I documented it, if I posted it, then like it wouldn't really be a thing. But because we're like building together, it's super important that we move as fast as our slowest man. And right now our slowest man is OZL. He should be moving just as fast as us, but we have to walk behind him. Right? So Momo explained to OZL what the exercise is.
Yeah, so wasn't the exercise is to make around a 1 minute video, just do it with your phone or whatever you feel comfortable with, and just role play with yourself. And then after you watch the video, you can see your body language, your tonality, where your weaknesses are, where your strengths are, and just keep doing it and doing it and doing it, and you'll see yourself getting better every day.
Okay, which is why I think documentation is super important because that was sort of what the exercise was, which is why I think like broken telephone is usually actually real, right? So it's my bad because I didn't document it. If you guys didn't understand it, then that means I didn't do a good enough job as a leader to make sure that everybody understood because I trusted that Daniel would do it. But maybe I didn't explain it properly, right?
Maybe ask Hamza. Maybe I didn't explain it properly.
Yeah, whatever. But the thing is, it's all about extreme ownership. So what I'll say, OZL, like the actual exercise is number one. Wait, Latrice, you want cookies?
I make cookies.
Okay, sorry. Because like she's gonna go upstairs, so I want to make sure that cookies are ready. Okay. Okay, yeah, cool. All right. So the exercise was this, right? Like create a Google Drive folder, and then you every day pull your phone out and put it like on your table, like set it up with the water bottle, just like set it up. And you're gonna record or you're gonna put a stopwatch for 1 minute, or you can just look at the freaking time on the thing. Don't overcomplicate it, right? And you're gonna talk until the minute's done. Challenge yourself, do 2 minutes. And what you want to do is focus on tonality, pacing, speed of whatever. I talked about all that stuff on the last call, which is why it's like I need to get that downloaded. But essentially, what you're trying to do is like avoid filler words. That's the main thing. Like you're just trying to avoid filler words, yeah, like, so, and you just want to talk into the camera, dead stare at it, and you just want to talk. Watch how I can do it. Before, when we try to do it, actually, before we go, I want everyone to do one round, right? Okay. But it's just essentially trying to not say filler words. And you're just talking about whatever. Like literally, like the subject will be Mars. So I have to talk about Mars for 1 minute without saying filler words and without stopping. But I can pause and I can think, but it has to be fluid. Because again, pausing is totally okay in speech, as long as you're not like sitting there like, damn, I blanked out. Right. So you have to get good at like just letting your brain think, pausing, thinking about what you're gonna say first, say it in your head, speak, and just try not to say filler words. So I'll talk about Mars for 30 seconds because I do want to give you guys a chance because I know I can do it for a while. But watch me mess up because it's live streamed. So watch me not be able to do it. So Hamza, someone give me a topic.
Just do Mars.
I already did Mars a long time ago, so I can do it.
Do World
World
Cup,
Cup.
as Momo said.
Do a piano.
Piano?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Wait, I'll time it. Hold up.
Okay. I'm gonna do it while looking at Hamza. Actually, no, I'm gonna do it while looking at Momo. Because if I look at myself, actually no, I'll look at myself because if I look at you guys, if you guys start smiling, then I'm gonna start laughing. Okay.
All
All
right.
right.
Whenever you're ready.
Okay, just start the timer whenever I start. All right. So, pianos. When I was younger, I always loved hearing pianos because pianos, the sound of the chords, the sound and the depth of when you hear the music play, it just reminds me of my childhood. And the reason why it reminds me of my childhood is because when I was with my brother around the age of 6, we used to have a piano, and that piano used to be able to play like automated songs. Like we used to be able to like press the button and it would be able to play like one of our favorite songs. One of our favorite songs is by Beethoven. I don't know the actual song of it. That being said, whenever I listen to pianos or whenever I try to play a piano, it reminds me of that. Fuck, I'm going in circles. Fuck.
All right.
Okay, hold on.
You
Yeah,
did
yeah.
over 30 seconds though.
Okay, yeah, shit. Yeah, but it's hard to not spin, but the whole goal is like you have to just do it without saying filler words. And like, I'd never, I mean, did I say filler words or did I not?
No.
Okay, good. So like, and I was kind of speaking fast too, right? Usually when you do this, you want to kind of take your time. But like because I've trained so much and I've done so many calls, like I just said like now, but I don't do a lot of filler words because I'm like programmed differently now. If you asked me to do that 3 years ago, I would have been like I wouldn't even know what to say, right? So Hamza, or sorry, I'm gonna popcorn it and then I'm gonna give the person a topic. So when you're done, popcorn it to someone else and give them a topic. Okay. Um, yeah, Hamza, your topic is TV, TVs
Okay.
or television.
Are you guys not gonna time it? Well, you don't need to.
Uh, wait,
When you're ready, yeah?
you ready? I got a timer.
Cool.
Whenever you're ready.
I'm trying to decide who should I look into.
Just
I look
say
into more.
television and just start.
So television. Back when I was a kid, I actually used to watch a lot of cartoons. And at some point, actually, it was I was watching a lot more than I should. Like I was spending a lot of time in front of the TV that I should. And my favorite cartoon was actually SpongeBob. The thing is, I watched most of the cartoons in Arabic. So when I went to Ireland, I remember when I went to secondary school, everybody would talk about whatever their favorite show, the cartoons they used to watch. But there was me who wasn't able to kind of relate or engage in the conversation. And that's because I was watching the cartoons in a different language. And even the episodes themselves were kind of edited and weren't the same as well. So, yeah.
Okay, stop. You're good. That was a minute. You said a filler word every sentence. You were like,
Yeah.
and actually, like, so, but, and so. You see how hard it is, right? But again, that's why it's important to like record yourself because day
Yeah.
one it's gonna suck, and then like after day 30, you're gonna be like,
Momo, I was staring at your soul, bro.
but that's why it's important, guys, to think before you speak. Because when you think before you speak, you pause, you breathe,
I
and
wasn't
you say
breathing.
everything with complete execution. And then you pause again, just like how I'm doing it now. And it sounds natural because it's calculated, it's precise. I am not saying any filler words because I'm taking my time. And that's how you talk on sales calls. I mean, I don't sound robotic. That's how I talk, right?
All
So
right. Popcorn it.
you have the
Should I
popcorn.
popcorn? Yeah, yeah. Let's give Ozil. Let's see Ozil actually. And I would choose the topic I'm gonna choose is
Do solar system. Someone in the live stream said solar system.
solar system.
Solar system. Alrighty. This timer starts whenever I start.
Wait. Stopwatch. Okay, ready? Whenever you're ready.
Alrighty, let's give this a try. Solar system, it has 9 planets or 8, depending if you believe in Pluto or whatever the last one is called. Uh, ugh. The last time that I even recall talking about the solar system at all had to be probably like middle school or maybe elementary school. Whenever, we would do like projects as kids, like little drawings, draw the solar system, or Earth, learning about Earth, which reminds me of like Earth Day. It was actually a big thing for the elementary school that I grew up in. We would always have like a field day event, which was kind of cool. I remember running fast, and it was like all sorts of events. It was this whole field day. We would go to the high school track. I'm getting a little off topic here. Not talking about the field day, not the
Yeah, you're
solar
done. You're
system.
good.
But
You're good.
back to this. Okay.
You're good. So
That
you can
was
tell how hard it
interesting.
is to like not say filler words. And like when you started just ranting and talking, you didn't even notice how many filler words you were saying. You were just saying them and you like completely
Mm.
disregarded them. Like you can tell when you were trying to not say them. And then when you just like got comfortable, you started talking super fast because our brains move faster than sorry. Our I don't know. I don't know if it's our brains move faster than our mouth or our mouths move faster than our brains, but just like that, right? Oh my God, I did it again. So it's hard to when you're conscious of where your speech is, you're slowing down, and then so it's always important to stay grounded and rooted. Because even if I'm going to go into a rant with someone, I'm still going to give them this energy. So, right, like, and, but, um, all filler words. If you remove the filler words from your speech, you're going to seem older, you're going to seem wiser, you're going to seem smarter, right? So I would do that on the side. There's so many exercises that you can do, right? But another thing you want to notice as well, especially when you're recording yourselves, guys, is you want to make sure you're not touching your face either. You're just standing still. You're not moving around. You're not looking up. You're staring into the camera like a tree and you're not moving. The only thing that should be moving is your mouth. So, Momo, you're next. Does anybody from the live have a word that one of my clients should do a thing with? Actually, you know what? Whatever. Do sales. Momo. I know I said popcorn it, but I want him to talk about sales. So I want to hear what he thinks about sales in a non-filler way. All right,
Okay.
whenever you're ready.
Salespeople are one of the most important people in the world. Why? Because without salespeople, nothing would sell. And top salespeople make about 80% of the money in the companies. And the top salespeople, they earn even more. Salespeople have.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I should have been myself.
Start again, yeah?
No, you're doing good though. You're doing good. That was actually perfect. That was better. That was the best one. That was 30 seconds. It's just that you were like in the top.
Salespeople are one of the most important. Salespeople are very important. Why? Because without a salesperson or salespeople, nothing would be sold. And top salespeople have quality and skill sets, communication skills, tonality skills. Also, the skills that they have, they can implement them in day-to-day life, in your day-to-day life. Give you an example. If you have children and you tell them to do something and they hit you with an objection, you can know how to handle it. You can give them a choice. It's either you go to bed now or tomorrow. You get what I'm getting at? You can kind of, disrupt the brain pattern and stuff like that.
Yeah, it's good. It's good.
Slowly,
That was really good. That was really good. Yeah, like no filler. I mean, there was some filler words, but it's
yeah.
like
What's been a word, bro?
so like you weren't saying like, so, and, but, like those are like subconscious filler words, but there are also in your speech you were using like technically filler words when you were explaining certain things. So for example, when you were like also
Yeah, I
and,
didn't even notice that. Yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah.
It's better to start your sentences properly versus and also. And another example, also, right? Because again, like when you see Steve Jobs talk, it's just like it's calculated.
Yeah.
I
Technical.
could say it's calculated and it's precise. And or I can say it's calculated, precise, efficient, right? Those words hit more versus and also, right? Like but, right? But again, like
I didn't
that's
even know.
advanced.
I
So
didn't even notice, bro. That's crazy. So it's nice that I'm actually kind of. So I need to be more self-aware, and like you said, it's habitual, and it's just subconsciously we don't even realize it. I really tried to focus on not using any filler words, but yeah, I get what you mean. Thanks, bro.
it's a lot easier to get better at this when you actually practice it outside of the calls that we do. So I would challenge all of you guys to when you talk, to not like when your mom's talking to you, you're not going to be like, "Hello, mother. How are you?" No, like talk normally, but like try not to use filler words, right? So yeah. But that being said, I'm gonna go have dinner, and I might actually. Nah, I'm gonna go spend time. I'm gonna go spend some time with my wife. So,
All
um,
right, bro.
yeah, bro. I'm gonna go do that. But for the people that are here on Instagram, I'm gonna be doing lives every single day. I know there's only two of you guys on here right now, but every single night, 6 p.m., be here, be square, be there, whatever. Yeah. So you guys here on the Zoom call, we have our training on Tuesday, but I need help, right? For you guys. I really need to make sure that you guys are helping the new guys out, OZL specifically. Um, fuck, there you go. Another filler word. So just make sure that you guys are supporting each other and moving as fast as the slowest person. Okay. Because when you guys are doing role plays, I want to make sure I can hear role plays from everybody. And yes, OZL for you, right? Try to get on as many calls as you can. These guys get on calls every single day, right? So be active in the group chat. I always say, if you're not active or if you're not texting in the group chat, it means you don't care, right? So if you care about something, show up for it, be loud, be ambitious, and get out of your own way and gain the courage to, say what you want. And if you need to get on a call with someone, you do that. But, and Hamza and Mohammed and Momo and Daniel that's not here right now, but you guys all need to make sure that not only are you guys developing, but like I said, the way that you develop even further is not only just by developing yourself, but you also want to develop others because leaders create other leaders, right? And if you can create other leaders, or sorry, if I can create other leaders, then that means you're going to create other leaders, which means everyone's just going to have this like mindset of like, look, we're going to help each other. And if someone says something or if someone does a role play and it's like not good, I'm going to give my input on it because I care enough to say it, right? If you're able to, which is why I told Muhammad he should start posting content. In fact, all of you guys should start posting content because if you can talk about something, it means you actually believe it and you actually know what you're saying. Because if you're gonna have the balls to post something, you're gonna want to make sure you don't sound like an idiot, right? Therefore, it's gonna make you want to work even harder. Right? It's just like a fitness guy or like a fitness coach. They're not going to post themselves online if they don't have abs or if they don't have striations. They're going to work harder to get that because they want to set the example. And if they set the example, that means they actually know what they're talking about. So for you guys, the next level for you, Hamza, the next level for Daniel, Momo, I mean, you're pretty much there already, Momo. But it's literally now, it's like, okay, teaching others what you know. It could be your dog, it can be your content, it can be people in here, but you have to make sure you do that because it keeps you sharp. It also makes it more fun and more enjoyable because when you're on this side of the screen, like when you're like me, it's way more enjoyable. Like it's way more fulfilling. Right? So, does that make sense, guys?
Yeah,
100%.
So,
Appreciate the
for
love.
sure.
you guys have any questions before I hop?
I was just gonna ask about the calls. From what I kind of gathered is we don't actually have like a set time daily. It's just kind of whatever works and it's communicated in the group chat.
So, we do. Let me just I'm gonna do this actually right now. Thank you for bringing that up because what I'm gonna do now is this. Super easy. I'm gonna create a calendar and it's gonna be the Shepherd program training schedule. And I'm gonna create it. And then it's gonna be every Tuesday. Hold on, let me just make sure. Okay. Here, I'm gonna give you guys this link. So thank you for bringing that up. But I'm gonna do this. So I'm gonna do this, and then I'm gonna go this, this. And I'm gonna make sure that this is from my Shepherd program training schedule. And I want to make sure that no one can see this. Default visibility, public. Okay. Weekly on Tuesday. Boom. There you go. And then I'm also gonna have it here. And then I'm gonna share a link right now. And then it's gonna have you guys add it to your calendar. That was supposed to happen with my stupid live, but I don't know. Like I don't know why it just went like so south. Oh, I'm also gonna change the link. That way it's my personal Zoom. Because I can't be joining on my work account anymore. I'm not that broke. Okay. Yeah, while I'm doing this, does anyone have any questions?
I know you said earlier it would be nice to have like a document of the leadership topics. So if you go to the same document that I sent you earlier, you can see on the left there's tabs, and you'd find the document for all the leadership topics that we covered so far. Well, most of them at least.
Hold on. I'm just making sure that I get this right. So sorry, what were you saying, bro?
You were saying earlier you wanted it would be nice to have like a leadership document, like all the topics that we kind of talked about.
Yeah.
So yeah, there is one. If you go to the doc that I shared with you earlier, on the left there's like tabs, and you can find it there.
Okay. Thank you, bro. If you can just text me that on WhatsApp, that way I can.
It is there.
Oh,
I
it's
sent it
there?
earlier. Yeah,
But
I
like,
sent
can
it
you
earlier.
like text me like the purpose of that? Did you?
What you mean? Purpose?
Like, hey man, I put this here because of this reason.
Yeah, for sure,
I'm
yeah.
just trying to figure this out here. Oh, that's why. Okay.
I just it's the same document, so actually I'll just text it.
Yeah. Okay, there you go. So then what I'm gonna do now. Oh, am I an idiot or am I an idiot? Oh no, there you go. I did it. Okay. So the Shepherd program training schedule, and then what I'm gonna do is I'm going to yeah, all right. Appreciate you guys on the YouTube or on the Instagram. I'll see you guys tomorrow, 6 p.m. EST. I'll let this play a little bit more so that everybody can see that. Okay. So I'm gonna post this link in the chat. Just let me know if it works. Let me know what it says. Because it says like add. It might say like add to Google Calendar. I sent it to WhatsApp. So Oziel, or all three of you guys, what does it say?
I opened it, and it's a calendar. Actually, yeah, I can see the Zoom.
Nice. Accounts reached 91. Ah, no. Actually, I accidentally did something wrong. I have this AI appointment setter, like this AI DM setter, and it accidentally shit. I gotta make sure I gotta change that. Anyways, did you guys like did it say add to calendar? There's a plus. There
No.
should be a plus on the bottom.
Yeah, it says
Right.
copy to my calendar. Yeah, one sec, I press it. Yeah, yeah,
You guys have the meetings now?
yeah.
Okay, sick. Um, yeah, I'm hyped, boys. There's gonna be a bright future ahead. When I hired this executive assistant, guys, like holy cow, like it's gonna be crazy. And then Hamza, you're gonna lean on that person a lot too, because that person's gonna basically be my second brain. So like anything that has to get done, like I was gonna ask you both of you guys, which again, like I want you guys to think about and just text me it, but start thinking about ways where it's like when someone joins this program, there's no fathoms in here. I just realized that. Anyways, um, yeah, so basically what I was gonna say is when you guys are joining the program, right? Like what's like just think about ways of like how can we make the person's experience who's like brand new, like elite? Like how can they be like indoctrinated in like less than 2 hours versus like 2 weeks versus like,
Yeah.
oh shit, we're still live streaming. Hold on, I gotta end the stream. There you go.
You want to